Second person is always the one who gets caught because they make the second move. First person never gets caught. But with all this surveillance and everything, it all depends on. We don't even know what words were exchanged between the woman and Kareem Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what the severity of the words were. We don't know. I mean, as they were saying, he even said in the interview on ESPN, he could have eliminated himself from the situation. He could have de-escalated it. He could have very easily. I mean, his friends had asked the woman, "Hey, they were trying to separate them, but she stayed," which I thought was bizarre. Because, I mean, the woman ended up getting knocked out. Like, and you don't press charges? I mean, you said the woman was going to, but she didn't, Jeremiah?
Yeah.
There's something else to this. There's got to be something, because that was to this story.
Okay, so we got a few different things first here. Your first part of this is, okay, there's something more to the story. I mean, rumor has it, again it's rumor mill because I don't know fact on this, but published reports out there are that his friend, Hunt's friend, had her cell phone, which is why she stayed around, because she wanted her cell phone, is what I've heard. I don't know if that's true.
I didn't know. That's my first time hearing about that.
Yeah. So with that, not that that's a good reason or not a reason, but that at least would say, okay, why I'm staying, I'm waiting for my phone. Now, as far as could Mr. Hunter removed himself from the situation? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that he recognizes that is a good thing. Is it not?
Yeah.
Okay, so we see that as a positive overall, but it still hasn't answered the question, though, to me, that it's when we said it was okay, it's not okay for a male to hit a female, but I'm not hearing that it goes the other way. If when a female hit a male, that it's not appropriate. And there are some women out there who are physically bigger than some of the men.
Right.
So what I'm hearing from you, though, is that's not as bad. Is that accurate?
From my perspective, I would say you have a great point. It does go both ways. It is wrong to get into a fight, period. But when it's involving a male and a female, if a male puts their hands on a woman, period, that's just not acceptable. It isn't, because that's domestic violence, plain and simple. And that's something that's
it is if we're living together,
right? But I'm saying But I'm saying, as far as words hurt. But you know what? As I said on my morning show, actions speak louder than words. So whatever words were exchanged, it set off something in Kareem Hunt. But you know what? He could have very easily said, you know what? I'm not gonna. That's all she wanted me to do. She wanted me to react to whatever she said to me.
Oh, for sure.
It's like a bully. They want you to react.
So let me ask you this. So in saying that, then could it be possible that the woman was the instigator in this situation?
Yes, very easily.
All right.
Very easily.
Because does that happen to professional athletes and celebrities where women set them up?
Yes.
Is that appropriate?
No.
So if this woman was setting it up, and I don't know if it's true or not,
right.
but if she were setting him up,
mm-hmm.
he responded poorly.
Poorly. Oh yeah.
But if she's setting him up, he should lose his career.
Yes, because he as
in a way,
school,
I see with him going and approaching the situation and all that, then sort of going and trying to get at her. And he, in a way, sort of instigated the whole thing of going and really involving into the situation of whether she, walks up and then tries to instigate. It sort of goes two-way street. You can't have a altercation, all that, without both parties on both sides going at it.
Right. And that's my point, because I've unfortunately been in situations where people, not female, but people in this case, have come up into your face and threatened, intimidate, and try to start things. And quite frankly, sometimes you don't have a choice but to respond.
Right.
And I'm not saying that this is the situation here, but all I'm saying is that unless we know what happened, I personally don't feel that I can sit there and say, yes, he should be this, and yes, he should be gone. I think that there's always more to the issue than we'll ever know from that aspect. And I just, from my end, I don't think it's fair for us to say, and then to make a mistake at, 23 years old, that you should be done for the rest of your life on something which, quite frankly, if this happened to Joe Schmo out in the street, wouldn't even be a story. He'd get a ticket, a fine, and they move on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The one thing is, you're not given it's a privilege to be in the NFL.
Right.
It's not
a privilege to be on the radio.
Well, in a way. and that.
Yeah.
It all depends on perspective.
Right.
All depends on perspective.
If you're not an actual student here, you don't have that privilege.
I'm not a student here. It's a privilege.
Well, if you think of it, you're a staff member.
Yeah.
It's sort of, you have something that brings you
Right,
here.
but it's still a privilege to be here. It's a privilege to be at Lakeland. Right? You can lose that privilege.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not, your employer.
No, but you know what I'm saying? I'm
Hmm.
even talking as a student. So, I mean, I think when I said that, not to be flippant, but it's a perspective of where you're coming from. You know what I mean? If you're someone who is starving, literally starving for every meal, man, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is the best thing that ever happened. However, if you're used to eating steak, you might frown upon a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
But it goes to the other standard of this, of, privilege. You have young kids looking
Up to
at you as a role model and all that. Do you really want someone that beats a guy down and that goes and beats up a woman,
Right.
goes and beats up some other random person? You really want that your son, that's 5 years old, wearing a Chiefs jersey with his name on it? As a moral standard.
I do not want any of my kids or the community as a whole to support what happened. All right, that I'm not.
That's the one
advocating that. But
when
what
it goes to it.
But what I am saying though is that I think it's very difficult for anyone to say this should cost you your job forever, because I don't think that any of us live perfect lives, and so that's where does that come into? I mean, what he did was absolutely wrong. No question. I'm not arguing that aspect. Is that enough for someone to lose their livelihood? Who, quite frankly, he's an entertainer. I mean, he's an athlete. He's an
in a
entertainer.
way, but then also he
know
was
what I
in college. I don't know if he completed a degree or whatever.
Yeah, over
that
Toledo,
he
right.
should have a second livelihood, because football doesn't last for forever, especially for running backs.
Right.
Yeah, okay, theoretically that's all true, all right, but we also, I mean, in a real world, we know that's not realistic either, but...
Because many people that retire from the NFL, not all of them, they good, they're coaches or that.
Correct.
And that they had to come up with
quite
the
many of
second
them are broke.
livelihood.
Quite many of them are broke.
And that too.
So, yeah, well, all I'm saying is should he lose his job over that? That's all I'm asking.
No, he's got to have plan B. And if he doesn't have plan B, sucks for him.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm here to tell you, though, that he will be with another team next year. Guarantee it. Guarantee
Depending
it.
what
There are people in
happens-
the NFL right now who've done a heck of a lot worse, and they're in the NFL doing all kinds of wonderful things right now.
I'll say you bring up the other players. You look at Jameis, what he did with that Uber situation, which I'm
Yep.
not going to go into detail because that's not fit for air. But you talk about that situation even. I mean, he's still in the NFL. He's still playing. I mean, he was suspended for what,
But
3 games?
Yeah.
The thing is, going from his apology of, I was top better, blah, 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 then you find out, well, January this, June this, and that. He's willing to lie
On camera.
on camera
Yep.
to people, not including to a team and all that.
Yep.
Not including, well, I'm sorry, and then, oh, by the way, here's 2 more things and that.
Yep.
God knows, I'm thinking there's still at least another one out there.
I mean,
Not including, if, let's say, 4 or all this comes true or half of it comes true, it's sort of in the moral standards of jersey sales and that, his name's somewhat ruined.
yeah. I mean, you were talking.
Not including even
As soon as he
parents.
comes back next year and has a phenomenal season, his jersey sales will be just fine. Thank you very much. That is America today. That is America
know.
today.
Now the one thing
Come
is
on,
that-
But but you have to think the owner's perspective, the general manager.
Exactly. He's making me money. He's a young kid who I'm going to go to my anger management. I'm going to go to...
He needs a little more than anger
No, I'm
management.
just saying, I'm
definitely.
just saying, I'm going to go to anger management. I'm going to make a donation to the Me Too movement. I'm going to speak to young men about the appropriate way to interact with people because I'm making a retribution. I'm telling you right now, if he comes back with those things after his suspension from the NFL is over, he'll be with a team, and whatever team has him will love him. Now, mind you, when he's there, he'll have to do some of these things. He'll have to go out and speak in the community. The
only
world,
thing is, will the community actually go out
absolutely,
and listen to him?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, if you think
look
of
at
the common aspect of he goes apologizes for one thing. I was raised better than that and all that. Then you find out about these two instances. That's his credibility there.
You're grouping it. I mean, at this point, hey, by the time I was 23, I had some scrapes. I had some mistakes. Okay.
It's true, but the thing is, you go and apologize for it.
Yep.
I was raised better than that. Than two other instances, and he knows it.
I'm not
how can you
disagreeing.
go and lie? The moral standard of like me, if he came to East Lake to talk to a bunch of people,
Okay.
I wouldn't be there for one reason: his credibility.
Oh yeah.
It's garbage.
Okay.
Good point.
So in your
why
view,
would I go
so
and
in your
help
view,
him?
so in your view, then, once someone is screwed up, has made a mistake or what have you.
Well, this compared to a more
Well, let me finish. So once they've done that no matter what they do, they're done. They can't be revitalized. They can't come back up.
as a public figure,
He's not a public figure. He's
a
a
little bit.
Yeah.
Because he's known, other people, he has, fans over there in California
Okay, but he's not.
and garbage.
But understand,
and that.
he's not voted in. He's not. I mean,
Well,
this
public
is
figure of
right.
people know him.
Right.
well,
Which
shoot, but
it's true.
well, sure, he's known, but that's irrelevant. The job he's hired to do, he has to try out for, he has to work, he has to apply for, just like anyone else does.
And
If someone's better, he's not going to get the job.
Voted in, but he is a public figure. Of people know
Correct.
his name. I can go over,
Sure.
somewhere over in the UK, and people will know him.
I understand that, but what I'm saying to you is that he's applying for a job just like anybody else.
Yeah.
So with that, it's not like it's. I mean, if he's not playing well, performing, if he's not doing the job, he's out, just like anybody else. So I mean, it's not like he's put into this position that he's defying the people what they hired him for or what they voted him in for, because that's not the case at all. He's put in there to score and to play well offensively. Period. That's all he's there for. And if he doesn't do it, he's out. Period. Now, all these other things come into play, but that's not part of the job per se. Is it part of it in that it gets pulled in?
It is
For
a
sure.
section considered into it. Would you want
it is.
someone, that's convicted of, murdering
Right,
two
and that-
people on your football team?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You have the ability to do that, but that's my point to it, is that the college, the coaches, the owners have to make a decision from that aspect. So what I was getting at earlier is, if I hear you correctly, both of you guys are saying he's done it. 23, he can't come back to a position. Whatever, he's lost it. So what you're telling me then is that every person that gets convicted of a crime goes to jail. When they come out, they can't come back because it's no good. There's no way to solve that. They can't ever come back.
Well,
to
I mean,
it.
that's on the record. I mean, you think about it.
No, he's not going to lose a job he's not going to come back to the NFL.
Correct.
Will he go and get a job somewhere else, car dealer and that? Probably. But he lost.
He'll be in the NFL.
No.
He'll be in the NFL
If
next year.
at least two of the three or more can be proven,
He'll be in
he's
the
gonna be
NFL
done.
next year. Next year, guarantee it. Next year he'll be in the NFL.
I mean,
going to be done.
but
If
here- but
at
here-
least two of the three are proven for sure.
Okay.
But here's
All right.
something crazy: is that we were talking off air this morning with a friend, the guy that actually I know, and he said, "Did you hear about Madden had actually taken his character off the game permanently? They had already taken his character off. That's it." In my opinion, if you do something like what he did, you can go get a job elsewhere. But that's not acceptable in the NFL, given what Ray Rice has done. I get, the whole Ray Rice thing. That was more graphic, and, that was more to that. But with this, there's still plenty more to be uncovered. Did he know this woman? I mean, he did say, yeah, I met this girl, a couple days after I moved into to his new apartment at the 9. Maybe there was a relationship issue. Who knows?
Maybe she was stalking him. Maybe she was trying to trap him. Who knows?
Right. I mean, think about the whole Jameis Winston thing. That woman knew Jameis, and she knew, hey, I can trap him. I can get a ton of money from this if I,
Right.
falsify something that he did.
If 2 of the 3 prove to be or more get
He'll
proven,
be in the NFL
he's
next
done.
year. All right.
I
He'll be in the NFL next year. He might even play for the Browns.
I don't know if Cleveland will accept him after Johnny's
Okay.
what do I want to call him, spiel or whatever you want to call it. But
Right.
I don't think Dorsey would.
no, not a
I'm
chance.
telling you this right now. He probably won't play for the Browns, so we already have a running back with Chubb.
Right.
He will be in the NFL next year, no question about it.
No way. Who drafted him?
Then-
That's my question. Is who drafted?
Dorsey in Kansas City.
Okay.
I don't think he'll bring
Did
him
he
in.
Dorsey would bring him in?
No,
But
my
then-
question.
but we got Chubb, so now.
Plus
Sure.
the other thing.
If we didn't
though-
have Chubb, I'd look at it.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, I mean, definitely. You'd be like, no.
I mean, I don't know. I'm two sides right now. I don't know. I don't know what to think right now. Oh, because it hurts me to see this happen to someone.
Then it goes to the other thing of with these people now working with the police, the first and second one, of if they can link any money in that
Oh man.
of him going to them as hush,
It's not
He's
illegal.
screwed.
Why is that?
Look at Jerry
not
Sandusky.
illegal.
Look at Jerry Sandusky at Penn State with Joe
It's not
Paterno.
illegal. For me to offer you money just to be quiet about
well,
something?
no, in the NFL,
That's
paying off people, that I guarantee no owners will touch them.
Okay.
now what.
I'm telling you right now, he'll be in the NFL next year.
I'll say, what about Jerry Sandusky and Joe Paterno? What about that situation? I know that's a completely different situation, but think about how hushed Paterno was.
Mhm.
I mean, he saw everything that happened in that situation, and he was hushed for who knows how long.
Mhm.
I mean, think about that. Or even Larry Nassar, the recent thing with him in gymnastics. Think about how he gave those girls money just to keep them quiet, and he's now in prison.
Mhm.
Simple as that. Could there? You were saying there could be money. I mean, if there is money involved, and he was giving people money to be hushed, there's consequences for
Well,
that.
even going in
He's not in jail. They
intimidation.
weren't in jail because they were giving money.
It was because of what they did.
Correct. So you got to distinguish between the
Right,
two.
right, okay.
Well, not
And,
including.
and let's be honest, when somebody is let go from an organization,
Mhm.
there are oftentimes agreements signed that say that you're going to get a settlement when you go away, and you cannot talk about this at all.
Right.
So this is a legal thing that happens all the time. So understand what you're saying. I mean, this happens, and it's legal and it's done by businesses across the country all the time.
Right.
Okay, so I want to be clear on that. All right, it's
Hey.
no, I'm
it's
not saying
that.
with the business.
Yeah.
I'm just saying in between.
Yeah. Well, you don't know if there's a contract involved. He has a lawyer. God bless. He's probably got several lawyers. All right. So
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's it. We don't know.
Then
You know what
not
I mean?
including the other thing, if you go to that, if he intimidated them, now that's a criminal offense.
Tough to prove, but yeah. How do you prove that?
Video, surveillance.
Maybe. I mean, even then, it's tough to prove. You can't even show what was said and all that kind of stuff in the video that you had.
They
You don't
could
know the
always
story.
go
you
turn
know.
one of his friends.
It's
while
very
you're-
difficult. Very difficult.
You know,
Yeah,
Here's what I'm
that.
telling you. He'll be in the NFL next year. But
I-
while we're on the credibility issue, let's move on then if we can.
Sure. Why not?
Somebody retired or is going to retire, announced it yesterday.
Oh, Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer. So
Hey,
with
kudos
that,
to him.
so why do you say kudos to him?
Hey, he had a great coaching career. I mean, 3 national championships, one of which was with Ohio State. I mean, he's from Toledo. You know, he
He's from Ashtabula.
Ashtabula, my
Yeah.
bad. We went, but
He was at Toledo.
right. And I mean, he kudos to him. He had a great career. That's all I gotta say. The only thing that screwed him up a little bit was the Zach Smith situation. That's all I gotta say. That's the only thing that.
Are you not aware of Florida at all?
What?
He left that program a shambles with all the arrests that they had, their players and
Okay,
everything.
that I didn't know. Okay, that I did not know. Pardon me.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, here's a guy who left a program. They call him Urban Liar in Florida. Okay,
That I did not know.
Yeah, because of all that he did there, and he lied quite a bit down there, hid all kinds of issues with their players that went on, all kinds of arrest issues and stuff to win. Okay,
Right.
and guess what? He came to Ohio, and guess what?
Right.
Similar things have happened. Not everything
True.
has been quite clear. So,
If
I
you
mean,
only say one out of all of it, it's not that bad.
okay, but to our earlier comment, though, there's 3. Ooh, he should be gone. Well, guess what? There was more than 3 violations at Florida. Why was he even allowed to continue to coach? He should have been out. right?
Right.
Because he was in a position of authority, well known. He should be gone. He never should have had a chance at Ohio State. And then he had more stuff at Ohio State. Why is he not in jail?
But the other thing is, it goes to one aspect
okay, what's
of
that?
this.
Yeah, it comes down to the fact he won.
Well, no.
Oh, okay, there's more. Go ahead.
Not even close. This is, forget the winning part.
Okay, go ahead.
At all. The thing is,
Yeah.
with arrest and all this,
Yeah.
everyone wants to go blame the head coach.
Right.
It's his
Cool.
responsibility. It's in his
Well,
contract.
The only aspect of it is the coach can only do so much. It's the
He can lie.
assistants.
He can lie.
It's the assistant
On tape,
coaches.
on camera, in front of the world. Go ahead.
See, I don't sit here and cut you like that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well, I want to make sure you get the whole aspect. I mean, because you mentioned earlier about the lying and stuff. I
Right.
mean, he did it on camera in front of everybody. Go ahead.
But going to the thing, you have the assistant coaches, you
Right.
have the athletic director, not
Yep.
including them visiting. The coach can't know everything. It's impossible.
Okay.
Even you don't know anything as an athletic director.
Correct.
True.
Yeah.
So
I don't-
going
for
and
sure, I don't
putting-
know everything for sure. You mean with
So-
our student athletes for sure?
Yeah, you
Okay.
don't know everything that goes on. It's
Absolutely.
here and there. It's things that don't reach your level, but
Correct.
get handled, or whoever handles it, whether assistant coach, blah blah blah,
Okay.
whatever, and that.
Correct. So when he knows stuff and
So-
lies about it, that's okay though.
No, that's not okay. Not
He
Well, he
doesn't-
did it at Florida, and that was obviously okay because he continued on.
Well, no,
because it didn't involve his. It involved his players. It never involved him as his coaching staff. It never involved except for Zach Smith. Okay, I'll make that point.
can you prove that he knew every single one of them?
Do your research on the articles. Yes, it's been brought out. Yes, it has been brought out. That's how he left it. I mean, I've read the articles. I mean,
Articles are articles.
articles, plural. There's a
It
lot out
doesn't
there.
matter.
Some of those
So-
can be very. It could be like
Can it
Wikipedia.
completely-
People can flip them around and.
Okay, but
Have you learned anything in your master's program? You don't learn, or you don't
so my-
trust
my-
Wikipedia?
Yeah, so, but my point I'm telling you though is that this has been shown. Okay, when he left, this was what was going on. This is why he left Florida. All right. So, with that in mind, if that all went on, according to what you all said to me earlier, he never should have been able to continue. But now I'm hearing what a great guy he is, what a great coach he is.
Because he led a program that was
But
nothing.
it shouldn't happen
And turn them
because
in-
he screwed up when he was younger. That's what you're saying with Hunt. He screwed up when he's younger. He shouldn't have the opportunity to move on.
Wow.
But the thing is,
That's what you're saying.
Right,
There is
right.
no difference.
There is no. Well, the thing is that the difference is that college and the pros. The pros, they're adults. They know.
Urban Meyer made multiple $1 million while at Florida State. He's a pro. College is unpaid. That's what an amateur is. He is not that. Those college coaches make more than many NFL coaches. They have more control over their athletes than professional coaches do.
What about Paterno? I know he was fired and everything for all that. And he coached for a while during the whole situation, before he even came out.
Because it didn't come out. As soon as it come out, he didn't have a choice. Because, I mean, that was child molestation.
Right. That was pretty bad. That
All
was
right,
some bad
so
stuff.
we're back to it though. Is that with Urban Meyer, I'm hearing it's okay. With Kareem Hunt, it's not okay.
Because he never covered anything up. He never lied about anything happening.
He did lie.
He didn't say it was his coaching staff. It wasn't anything about his coaching staff.
It was about his players and his staff. It was both.
That was one person in his staff. The players, that's for other people to deal with. The players, I get it. I get what you're saying. But his coaching staff, that's his responsibility. He is basically like the head man of his coaching staff. That's his family, if you will. That's his football family, if you will.
Okay.
The players, I get it. He coaches them. But he doesn't have to worry about what they're doing on and off the field. That's not his responsibility.
It absolutely is at a Division I level. It absolutely is.
I don't see that as being the person. I feel like that's their responsibility to watch what they do
Yes.
on and off the field. That's
Yes, it
that's
is.
the players. The coaches,
No.
they go and do their own thing. If something comes up that, hey, one of their players was doing something bad, great. You speak about it. You tell the player, hey, I heard about this, this, and this. Fine.
That's
but
not
you don't,
how
but
it works, man.
But you don't. I mean, it blows my. I mean, Urban Meyer, he's a great
it sort
coach.
of just blows my mind.
he is
So
a great coach for sure.
Oh.
Understand the difference. He's a great coach. I'm not.
We'll just
disputing
say
that.
one thing. So if he doesn't know anything, if something happens and people write articles, the fault should go to him.
And
he
that's
should be
exactly
canned.
right. No, but what you're saying.
So that's what he's saying of if coaches don't tell him something happens in that to someone,
Then it's
that
my
the athlete,
responsibility.
and they could go and say write articles. He's
Yep.
canned.
No, then it's your responsibility to find
it's
out.
my responsibility.
Yeah,
You're
to dig-
exactly right. That is my role.
Right.
If my coaches screw up, okay, and I don't know about it, and it comes out, that falls on me. Yes, that is the role that I
Right.
have. Absolutely correct.
Now, what if it's something that comes out, but let's say the coach knows, but let's say you haven't found out, and you see some things going on, around the program, like, oh, this is, players are missing, this and the other. Once you go and dig, talk to the police, if they've had any reports about stuff like that, wouldn't that be your job to go and investigate and make sure there's nothing suspicious?
If I find if I have had the feeling or the inclination something's going on, yes, it's one of my
then
responsibilities.
shouldn't
to
the
do
AD of
that.
Florida have gone digging and making sure that there
If
was
he
no
had
fault?
concern,
Same
yeah.
with Ohio State. Could the AD Gene Smith had gone?
Remember, he was also suspended. So yes.
So he even kept it quiet.
So
I mean,
he
it's
was
like-
also suspended. They both were suspended for inappropriate actions. Go ahead.
So
So they should have been fired from what you're saying because they lied, they covered up, and what have you, right?
right. But the
Okay, but they
suspension.
weren't.
I feel like the suspensions. Well, how long was Urban Meyer's suspension? 3 games. Is that what it
Yeah.
was?
So that's okay.
3 games, in my opinion, for a coach is fine. But if it's a player, for the coach, it depends on the severity of the situation. For a player, it also depends on the severity. With Kareem Hunt in the NFL, that's up there as far as almost very severe, like utmost severe. But Zach Smith, that was severe. But you know what? Guess whose responsibility is to talk to the police and to press charges? Zach Smith's wife. She never went to the police. She always wanted to rely on Urban Meyer's wife to help her. As adults, we're taught to fend for ourselves and be independent. She should have gone to the police herself and talked to them. She shouldn't have relied on Shelley Meyer to work things out. That's wrong.
Actually, there were charges brought against him, which means the police were involved at a couple different times.
Then why was Urban told all this and then at media day he was blindsided by all this?
He lied, my friend.
Because
Do
he didn't lie. He didn't lie. He personally didn't know. My guess is he didn't know. He did not lie about it.
He's already admitted to lying about it. He's already said he didn't.
I'm screwing it up myself.
I mean, he's already said, yeah, I wasn't forthcoming or what. He played. He didn't say lied.
Right,
Wasn't
right.
forthcoming. I didn't. So I should have. He knew about it. I
Right.
made a poor decision. He knew the guy did it back when he was at Florida.
then why
He
did
knew
he
about it.
rehire him at Ohio State?
That's the problem. You knew about it from Florida. Why'd you rehire it? Well, because his answer is he's one of my buddies. I let my personal relation
and then they said
get
like,
into it. He's my family member, whatever.
Right. He said like there was
Okay.
like some relation to that.
Exactly. So he's known about this for years. He's
So
known about this for
He should
years.
have suspended
knew
for more
about-
games. He should have been suspended for more games. Plain and simple.
Okay, so if he lies about it,
Right.
so lying is okay
No. Not in any
in
case.
comparison to putting your hands on someone.
Okay, I'd say putting your hands on a woman is way more severe than lying, in my opinion. That's because it's physical contact versus verbal versus a verbal, what do I want to call it? Not reaction, but
Which one affected more lives?
That's debatable. Because think about Kareem Hunt's his image, his brand,
Affected who?
his name his name is gone.
Okay.
So this woman was affected as well.
Okay.
Same thing with Zach Smith. His name was destroyed.
Okay. So, but for Kareem Hunt, how many people did it impact?
2 or
Just 2?
well, more than that. His family, friends, relatives, everybody associated with Kareem Hunt was affected.
Well, really, anyone in these situations.
Okay. Urban Meyer lying and getting caught with it. How many does that affect?
A whole school, a whole university,
So, which one has a bigger effect?
the Urban Meyer situation, plain stuff.
So, it has a bigger effect, but it's not as important.
I mean,
And that's the one thing is he,
I mean,
Welcome to the Scott and Steve Show. We ask penetrating questions all the
Yeah,
time to get you to think.
but the thing is he started taking my thing of if this is proven what should happen. I'm not saying he should be done right this second.
right,
Well, he's obviously not. He's on the suspended list, but yeah.
right.
No, I'm not saying he should be done in that at the second.
Okay.
It's all with the proven things and not including other things that keep coming out. I do not think that situation's done and over.
I mean, obviously, if more comes out, that changes everything, depending on what comes out, for sure.
Not
Right.
including other
Right,
situations
right.
happening.
I'm just telling you that at this point, If those three are it, even if he's found guilty of all three, he'll be back next year. That's what I'm telling you, because it's.
No,
his
no,
I don't know,
his
with the
suspension will be
trend
over.
of what's
He'll be
showing.
back.
Yeah, I
up,
mean, and heck,
He'll
he
be
was
back next year.
And the thing
I
is,
think
that,
it's more still to come.
I'll say I made a good point on my evening show on Monday night. How you watched that interview with Lisa Salters. He was interviewed by a woman,
Yep.
talking about something that happened where he put his hands on a woman.
Okay.
That, in my opinion, Jeremiah, you made a good point about that. How it was like a setup. Like it was a, what would you say, a PR stunt? You said
I
That-
think in a way
it was like a
he
PR
did that.
stunt, just so he could look
Perhaps.
good. But think about it. You listen to his voice. He seemed very, very embarrassed. And I get that. I mean, anybody would be embarrassed for a situation like that. I mean, when it's so common nowadays, I mean, not that it's a good thing, but it's very common nowadays for these situations to happen. But you just got to fess up to it. For him to lie and to say, oh, there's no video, as Jeremiah said on my show Monday night, you got to know if you're living at an apartment, you should know that there's cameras around. You should not say, oh, I didn't know there were cameras around. You should know that. I mean, heck, we know there's cameras around this school. I mean,
So what bothers you more, the fact that it happened or the fact he lied about it?
both. Because it should have never happened, because if you watch it, he could have very easily gone around the corner and
Okay.
been done with it. But
Okay.
instead, he basically did what a person who's being bullied does. They react and they get upset, and that's what that woman probably wanted him to do, was react
For
and
sure.
and
Because
get
she's going to
physical.
make a boatload of money out of it.
Right, she's trying to make at least. I mean, I can't say amount of money. I mean, I don't know how much, but it's got to be at least a
few dollars.
few dollars. But
For
maybe
sure.
maybe a full maybe a full NFL salary. I mean, who knows? Depending upon how many more situations come out, and if she has more to tell about,
Should she get that?
if there's more to tell about their relationship, then yes.
No,
'cause
that's how
maybe-
our society is.
Well, I'm just asking you, do you feel it's right?
For what?
Should she get money out of this?
She was the victim.
I understand that. Perhaps.
There should be
Perhaps she was a victim.
Perhaps, right? She should get something. I mean,
I really think the guy that got his medical bills, the first one, he should get something.
what, the one with the
With broken ribs.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that,
Kareem
I
Hunt should
think
pay for that
that's
fully.
Sort of.
I'd say Kareem Hunt should pay for that
I'm sure
fully.
he probably will if he's found responsible. I'm sure he will.
But there's no video in that one because there was no video near the DJ
Yeah.
the DJ booth at that nightclub. So
No.
that's what?
The night or the DJ booth one, that was the Put-in Bay one.
Oh, that was the Put in Bay one. I thought it was
Yeah.
the nightclub. Okay. Sorry, when I heard DJ booth, I thought nightclub.
No, I mean, it's kind of sad. Not even 24 hours, you're at a nightclub after losing in a playoff.
Yeah, I mean, how could you celebrate losing a football game? I mean, I would never think of.
Wait a minute. Here's what you're missing.
You can't compare Johnny to him. Johnny was really messed up.
No. But honestly, you know, all this has been kind of give and take. But in all honesty, you have to understand, for a professional athlete, this is their job.
Right.
All right, it's for a fan. Okay,
hmm
it's a passion.
Right. Right.
For an athlete, usually, more often than not, it's a job. Okay,
Right.
so what I mean by that is, so if you have a tough day at work on a Friday,
hmm
you know, you get canned or whatever happens, does
Mhm.
that mean that you shouldn't go out and enjoy yourself on Saturday?
It
Well,
would
the
be
thing
the, it
is,
would be the
it's
best.
over 24 hours.
Okay.
I don't know about you.
But I'm just using an example. I mean,
I would never do
it's
that. I would watch it as if I was a football player. I would
no. I'm asking you, if you have a job and you have a crap day on Friday,
I would stay home. I would stay home and just gather my thoughts and not do anything stupid. Because you know what? If you go out, there's the biggest chance that if you're upset about something, you're going to take it out on someone, and it's going to
Wow.
have consequences.
All right, I think you're in the minority there, but that's okay.
Minority.
Yes, I think you're in the minority there. I don't think that I don't think many people are going to put one with the other. For instance, if I have plans to go out on Saturday night and I have a crappy day on Friday,
No,
that doesn't mean that I don't go out on Saturday night because I might be in a bad
Well,
mood.
no, you didn't say you had plans. That's what I.
Okay, well, we don't know if you had plans or not to
I'm
go
saying,
out there.
I'm
I
saying
mean,
now, if you have plans, you just got to control your anger and forget about whatever happened that day and move
But
on.
this is like 12 hours, man.
I mean, it's probably still on his mind.
You're saying, from Friday,
Okay.
5 o'clock
Hey, okay,
to,
look,
Saturday night.
Most of the athletes that get in a lot of these issues, right? When do they go out? After games, right?
But the thing is that maybe that fan or that guy who was hit at that thing was probably heckling him about the game. Who
Could
knows?
be. No, what I'm saying though is,
Well, it doesn't matter. When you're
when-
getting paid that, people are going to scrutinize what you play or how you play it.
So does that make it okay?
No.
it's not okay, but you're getting paid how much?
Okay.
Here and there, not everyone's going to love you.
Right, but does that give someone the right to sit there and berate you and get in your face?
No, that's when you walk away.
Yeah, that's when you
If
walk
can.
away from the
If you
situation.
can.
Or it's
If you
called
can.
security. It's
Right.
called,
If you can.
police.
Yeah, you call hotel
It's
security.
called, oh, maybe I should go and, get in a car, go to a different place or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
See, common people would think of this.
I disagree. I think a lot of people would not think of that. I also
Well,
think,
now if you go back from the 90s, people would do that. Nowadays, people just don't care.
I think nowadays people are too quick to put their phone up and go, well, I'm going to tell you
Yes.
something happened. But my earlier point of getting at that is I think that when you get done with a game, okay, if a football game, they're in at 4 o'clock, right?
Right.
You don't think these guys are going out and blowing off steam or celebrating or not, whatever, by 7 or 8 or whenever they get released from the facility? 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock. I mean, why should they not be allowed to live a life?
Oh, they should. I mean, they should be. Don't get me wrong. They should be allowed to live a life off the field. But they just have to think about, okay, I've got the franchise image. I'm there. I'm the team's image. When people think of the team, they think of me and other guys.
It's more that I would say, I have to say, the younger players. The guys have been there in some years or or been there for many years are not the ones that are,
Those are the ones that are typically married families, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Especially those ones.
But you're leading to my
here
point.
It's not really
right.
as much.
But you're leading to my
even.
point a little bit as well. Because what happens...
It's more, I want to say 60, 70, 30, something like that.
But you're leading to my point, or my earlier point a little bit. Why? What happens between then and if you're a rookie versus someone who's been in the league for 5 years? What's happened? You've matured.
Yeah, you've matured.
You've learned the system. So there is an opportunity to mature, grow, and learn.
Oh yeah.
So if there's an opportunity to grow, mature, and learn, why would we not take a kid who's screwed up, educate him, re-educate him, what have you, and give him the opportunity to move forward?
I mean,
No, it depends on one thing. More stuff keeps coming out.
Right.
It's really
For sure.
Yeah, simple as that.
frustrating.
Simple
I'm
as
just
that.
saying based on what we
Simple as
have.
that.
I'm saying based on what we have right now.
It's started to
why
turn
would-
into a very leaky faucet.
Well, perhaps. But I'm saying based on what we have right now, why would we not do that? We have people that commit bigger crimes that are doing bigger positions in this country all the time.
that's very true. That is wow. You do make a good point.
I mean, so we're talking about
Nah, if you go into the guy of Enron,
yeah.
he's not doing any more big things anymore.
That's a major example. But I'm just saying, in general, there are people out there who have committed crimes, real crimes, not that this isn't, but have committed crimes, who are in, you picked a position. I mean, that
President of the school. I don't know. It's
President of the United States.
okay.
If you listen to some people,
Yeah.
and he's not the first. I mean, if you think that the Clintons weren't doing something illegal, look at the stuff that's going on, right?
True.
So, I mean, historically, that's happened. And I would say, in my eyes, the President of the United States position, though he doesn't make as much money as an athlete, all right, is a more important job,
Oh, yeah.
in my opinion.
Oh, definitely. I definitely agree. I definitely agree with you on that.
So I mean, it's not as cut and dry as, well, he screwed up, he's out, in my eyes.
Right.
I think there's gotta be an
50-50
opportunity.
thing.
I'm not talking major things. I'm not talking about a federal offense where he's committing murder. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about that.
Well,
type
when
of
it
stuff.
goes, depending on the situation, it's 50-50 things. So some of them, they flounder. Some of them, it's more like that.
President of the United States had sex in the White House while he's president. Lied about it.
That's wow. That's good.
Kept his job, didn't he?
Yeah.
In fact, he's making a heck of a lot of money off of it since then, doing all kinds of tours and stuff since then, isn't he?
That's very true. You're talking about Trump. Oh, yeah, you're talking about Trump.
Clinton.
Oh, Clinton.
But,
And lied about it.
but I'm just
But
going to
he-
say one thing.
But he did.
But they only get 4 years in the office. These NFL players can go play on for 5
No.
years, 6 years.
Maybe.
These presidents only get 4 years.
They get 8, perhaps.
Possibly. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so how many NFL players last 8 years? Not many.
Yeah, there's very few.
So go ahead. What's the argument?
There's no argument. Wow, man, you're intimidating me a lot. Wow. Wow.
Listen, I don't want to charge against you by intimidating you by asking you questions.
But-
here.
but
Is this on tape? Because I want to make
Yes.
sure that I'm doing the right thing.
Oh, you're doing it.
But it goes to this, defrauding many people of like a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
then that. What's worse?
Defrauding people of a lot of money.
Enron.
Look, you don't think Clinton's defrauding people of a lot of money?
Well, no,
there's
I mean-
legal stuff that happened there?
No.
Come on, read the book. Yeah, it's out there.
Well, no,
Oh, yeah, that
I'm
book
just
is
gonna-
out there.
Yeah, it's
I'm
out
just
there
gonna
for
show
sure.
you that.
There
there.
one thing.
Wow.
But
if
go
you
ahead.
go from the White House, the affair, and that, what's worse?
Well, you're only referring to one aspect in the White House.
One incident.
Well,
Just
that's one-
saying there.
How about how about the money laundering that the Clintons were involved with and are still involved with? Is that worse than what Enron did?
No, I'm just going to say one.
He was president at the time, so is one worse? I don't know. They're
no,
both bad.
Just go one thing.
Enron's in jail. Did Clinton ever go to jail? I don't
No.
recall that.
No, I'm just saying one thing only.
Go ahead.
Incident, the incident.
But they're not the same incident. You're comparing apples and oranges.
I'd say the president thing
Why-
is worse.
Why
I'd say
why don't you just say money laundering? Because they both did it. So which one's worse?
both. There's not one worse than the other.
Well, if you look at one thing, I'm somewhat comparing this back to Hunt of, like killing, then, assaulting.
Well, he didn't kill anybody.
Well, no, I know he's not killed, but,
Right.
someone that has killed someone.
Okay.
Going to
For
that
sure,
extreme.
you can't. That's what I'm saying. You can't compare the two. I mean,
That's
you can in
why-
saying one's different. But what I'm saying is money laundering. That's
Both are the same. Both are.
both the same crime.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm
one's a
somewhat
president,
going-
and one's not.
But what's higher? What did the guy you guys were talking about do? I know Clinton, he did a ton of things, but think about what's higher. Just an average guy or the president? Which is higher? The
Higher in
president.
what way?
In responsibilities. Which is higher? In what way?
From a national perspective, the president
president,
is.
right. From
From my own personal perspective, if you're talking about me or my family, that's more important.
Okay. So I'm saying as far as like let's say,
If you ask my wife if I screwed up or the president screwed up, she'd be more concerned about me screwing up.
okay. But on a more of a public eye, which is more right.
Right.
So the president should get more higher consequence than just an average person who
But what happened though? The president skated.
because
Right?
Right. I mean, he did skate, right.
So he skated, but
Because
Kareem
he-
Hunt, we're going to string up.
because there's many more to come. There's many.
Oh, you don't know that?
There's my guess. I mean, that's just me.
You don't know that?
That's just me speculating. There's got. I mean, if there's two more incidents already come out, there odds are
how many
there's
people
one or
down
two
the
more
road-
things coming out.
But what you're saying though is where do you draw that line? If the president's supposed to have bigger consequences because it's a bigger position, then why is he held to a lower standard because he skated?
Because he
to a
must have
professional?
bribed. My guess is I'm just gonna say this, and this is my own opinion. Bribe. That's my guess. He must have bribed someone or done
Well,
something.
no, you look at his pardon powers, too. He can't pardon himself, but he can pardon the people
Right.
associated to it.
There's a lot to it.
So
That's it, right.
you can't really push that much because he could just go say, well, you're pardoned, you're pardoned, you're pardoned. So what's the point? That's the one bad thing about
Are you
the
making
pardon
a
power.
political thing about Trump and his
No.
making the arrangement for that gentleman
I'm
not
just
getting
saying in
going to
general.
jail for
Ooh.
cooperating with Mueller?
Well, no, I'm just saying in one thing with
Wow.
like Clinton,
Yeah.
he could just go pardon a bunch of people after you go after them. You have to impeach him, then you can go after him. But the only bad thing is he got rid of all of his associates. So
What's
you
that?
can't really go and push it that hard because you have the opposite end of, well, he can just go and undo what you did.
Right.
Except you'll get him. See, that's the one, compared
The
to
low guy's always going to fall. The low guy's going to fall.
But the only one bad thing, like
Right.
Enron, that guy, he didn't have pardon powers. He could save himself.
Right.
See, that's the one difference in that situation, too.
Yeah, there's a lot to it for sure. For sure.
See,
All
you
right.
didn't think of that point.
No, I didn't compare him to Enron. I did not compare him to
Well,
Enron.
no, going and thinking of like the Clinton thing of laundering, he can just go pardon a bunch of people, unlike the other.
But I don't
dude.
know if that happened.
I don't know.
I to my knowledge, I can't say it did or didn't. To my knowledge, no, but I don't know that that's a part of it. But Anyway, a lot of interesting stuff. All right, listen, believe it or not, we're at our hour time. We're going to end a couple minutes early here today as we got some wonderful things to get in or to move on to. I do want to invite everyone to come out and watch the Lakers play. They play tonight. The ladies' tip is at 5:30. The men follow at 7:30. The Lakers take on Owens Community College, the Express from Toledo, Ohio. Good game, league game, so come on out and check us out tonight. It is free as always. Anything you want to plug at all while you're here?
No, I mean, we had a great show. That's for sure, man. A lot of debating.
Yeah, I like that. I liked it. A lot of fun. I'm glad you were here today. Thank
This
you for
is what
stepping in.
happens when Steve's not here.
or you guys absolutely
A
troll
little dig.
Michigan. Or you guys absolutely troll Michigan.
See, I'm not a Michigan fan. I'm
Yeah.
not an Ohio State fan.
Ooh,
I'm not either. I don't like either. So, go
okay.
from there. So, yeah, so it's all good. But anyway, hey, we want to thank everyone for listening today. We hope you had a great time, and we will see you all back at noon. Are we back? Are we noon next week during finals week?
Yeah.
All right, finals week next week, folks. Everyone study, do real well, finish out your exams, projects, etc., and have fun. Good luck, and we'll see you tonight at the game. Bye now. Go Lakers.